Erica Weston, Brad Thompson, Dan McLaughlin with you. 68 degrees. And Mike Schilt's club coming off a historic month of April with 18 wins. And right now they sit at 19-10. And the Cardinals are 3 games in front of the Cubs and Brewers. The GMC lineup: Carpenter, Goldschmidt, and DeYoung. Then Ozuna, Martinez, Molina, Wong, Bader, and the pitcher, Miles Michaelis. And Max Scherzer going tonight, start number 7. Bit surprising to see the record at 1-3.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to see an ERA north of 4 for very long for Max Scherzer as well. We know how great he's been over the years. As you see the Hyundai pitch arsenal: fastball, slider, changeup, sparingly uses the curve, mixes it in well. And you know, Max is a guy, he's going to be pumping strikes. Cardinals going to have to be aggressive.
Matt Carpenter, 4 strikeouts last night, then drew a walk. He's had back-to-back games with 3 or more strikeouts, which is surprising.
It's very surprising. We've also now seen back-to-back games where he swings at the first pitch. Last night he fouled one back. This one he swung through it. You got to think that Matt Carpenter's just trying to jumpstart himself a little bit.
And it's 0-2. So the 18th win for the Cardinals last night, matching a team record set in 2008, and the first win this year when Mike Schilt's club scored under 4 runs. How about that?
Got to find ways to do it, right? You don't see the 2-1 ball game that often anymore. A lot of runs happening. And it wasn't the prototypical way, even with the lack of runs. Cardinals punched out 15 times in that game, and they still figured out a way to win the game. Now, that's not the model that they want to go into a game with, but I think it just shows you how deep this club is. The big inning has been a thing here recently. The last 2 games, they battle.
It's also a club that wins in different ways with their lineup. And right now, looking back at the month of April, a good one for St. Louis. Last night, the 1 through 4 hitters went 1 for 16 with 8 strikeouts. So other parts of the lineup are contributing too. That's outside, and it's now 3-2.
We saw some great stuff. We've seen great stuff from Marcell Ozuna so far this year, leading the club in RBIs, having a good year. Jose Martinez doing his thing. But to your point, Bader with a bunt with bases. Colton Wong with a bunt with bases loaded. Bader follows with a big knock.
And a high fly ball lifted out to deep right field. Robles with room and makes the catch as he was spun around. Late scratch in the Nationals lineup. Juan Soto scratched, so Eaton is in left, Michael A. Taylor in center, and Robles going from center to right. On the infield, Kendrick, then Kieboom, Defoe, and Adams. Yan Gomes behind the plate, and around the horn presented by Dobbs. So Davey Martinez is trying to find any combination with all the injuries that they've had to get them some wins, and they're in a tough stretch for the next 23 games. And right now it began with the Cardinals, but playing teams that are above 500.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and this club, as you mentioned, they need to get healthy.
Goldschmidt, a base hit into right center.
The bullpen has been a big issue for the Nationals, yet the last 3 games they haven't been scored upon, so the hope is for the Nationals that that group is turning the corner a little bit.
That's been an issue, and the injuries thus far for the Nationals. So the first hit of the game by Paul Goldschmidt, and it brings in DeYoung. He's in the midst of his second 10-game hit streak already this year. And the first pitch taken for a ball low. What'll be interesting tonight to watch, see what the Cardinals can do with the changeup of Scherzer. Last year, opponents hit well below 200 against that changeup. This year, he's already given up a couple of home runs on that pitch, and they're hitting above 300. He's left it up. And the 1-0.
Yeah, that'll be the key, is just seeing it up out of his hand. He makes very few mistakes with the slider, and those are his 2 strikeout pitches. He goes to the slider. He'll use the changeup against righties also. I mean, he kind of uses those things in equal amount. See it up out of the hands, and you might as well get him while he's making mistakes early, because you know it's not going to last for very long.
That's right. 2-0 the count. And it's hit up the middle. 11 games in a row with a base hit for Paul DeJong. Back-to-back hits, 11-game hitting streak for the Cardinals shortstop.
Well, he wants this one in, gets it exactly where he wants it. It's down, it's in, it's 95, but Paul DeJong does a very good job. Pulls the hands in, gets the barrel to it, and shoots it right back up the box.
And it brings in Marcell Ozuna. That 11-game hitting streak, the best right now in the National League. Here's Marcell Ozuna. And Ozuna on the first pitch pops it up right side. Adams is over, leaning in and out of play. AARP take on Marcell Ozuna against Scherzer. The average at 233. That's 7 for 30, but a couple of home runs. You think about that and the 9 strikeouts. There aren't many that have good numbers against this righty.
Yeah, I can't imagine. There's probably, and I'm guessing the guy that does have good numbers against Max Scherzer, not many have heard of. Like, that's just how baseball is sometimes.
And the 0-1. A lot of times it's the secondary or your bench players that will go against a guy like Scherzer. And for instance, if the Cardinals, let's say, win this game with a getaway and a day game tomorrow and you're facing Strasburg, you might see the bench in the starting lineup.
You very well could, for multiple reasons. One is just build in a little bit of rest, and sometimes you just want to give somebody else a look at a guy like that. You know? That's one of those tight hammy days, isn't it? Like, there's something today.
Yeah, I got Strasburg-itis.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the day.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't see that in this group, though. They don't have.
I would agree.
They don't have it. These guys every single day are just chomping at the bit, ready to get at it.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Ozuna with 2 runners on. And it's fouled away. Already now 15 pitches here in this first inning.
Well, make them work. The guys were talking before the game with Erica Weston about the approach, of what they're going to do. And one of the approaches was, hey, get to the bullpen, make him work, foul pitches off. You know how good he can be, but you get that pitch count up, you can get anybody out of a game.
The 1-2 again. Ozuna with a fly ball into right. Robles fell down and just missed it. 1 run will score. Ozuna to second base. And the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead as Robles just misplayed it.
Well, it looked like off the bat that he went back, maybe he obviously misread this thing. As you see it right here going the other way. He takes that quick stutter step back. This ball just ends up dying in front of him. I mean, no way around it. Just misplayed it.
I mean, that ball's got to be caught.
It has to be. Kind of glad it's not.
And it's ruled a hit. Marcell will take it. And with that, the infield will be brought in for the Nationals here in this first inning. A gift handed to St. Louis.
Well, I'll tell you what, we were talking about Robles yesterday, about how when you're a young guy, you get thrust into the big leagues. There's going to be some learning curves, and there's going to be some things that you kind of have to deal with. Now, that's a play that you expect to be made in the big leagues. You expect to be made all over the place. But you got a young guy playing in the big leagues. He's going to make some mistakes here and there. And the hope is that the Cardinals can continue to capitalize on one like that.
And now it's Jose Martinez. For Martinez, this is career game number 300. His average at 314. The on-base percentage of 377. And if you go back and look at Cardinals that have these types of numbers to start their career. It's incredible. Stan the Man, Jim Bottomley, Johnny Mize, Albert, and this guy. Ground ball, and it gets through. 2 runs will score. Infield drawn in. Martinez singles up the middle, and Carter Kieboom trying to avoid the runner there at second base. Ozuna missed the ball, and really Max Scherzer should be out of this inning.
He certainly should be out of this inning. Look, in that play right there, I don't think you can worry about running into the run. If you run into him, that could be good news for you. You see the stutter step here. He worried about him for sure. Ozuna's right there behind him. Kieboom doesn't want to run into him and ends up missing that one by about a foot. And all of a sudden, the big inning again. It's been a theme. The Cardinals, the last 2 games, have only scored in 1 inning apiece. And they've put up crooked numbers in those innings. Got another big inning here to start the game against Max Scherzer.
And now the runner goes, and it's tapped foul. I'd love to see that as Mike Schilt is smelling blood in the water here a little bit. And let's turn to our key to the game with Brad Thompson, presented by Toyota.
Well, the Cardinals right now are putting some pressure on, and to me, one of the keys against Max Scherzer, we've seen some swings early, is attack early in the count. He can bury you when he gets to 2 strikes. He's got the great slider. Oftentimes the best pitch you're going to see is one of the first couple ones. If you see something in the zone that you like, take some hacks.
And the 0-1 pitch now to Molina. Puts it in play. It's hit to third. And a double play ball. Tag applied by Adams, with Yachty running up the line. But a big inning for the Cardinals. 20 pitches by Scherzer, and a 3-0 St. Louis lead. It's Max Scherzer and the Nationals, as Scherzer should have been out of that inning. Misplay in right, then the ground ball hit up the middle. And the numbers this season for Miles.
Well, the numbers are a bit inflated from what we've seen last year. 8 home runs is higher than you'd like to see. He gave up 3 his last time out. As you see, the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Miles Mikolas. Fastball, slider, curveball. Every once in a while we'll mix in the changeup. And when he is right, he's throwing all of those pitches in any count. Lefties, righties. We know how good Miles Mikolas can be. And we're hoping that this month kind of gets things going for Miles.
Adam Eaton will lead it off. And the first pitch, strike 1.
That's been a key the last couple of nights for the Cardinals. When they had the big inning, they were able to shut it down the next half inning. Keep the momentum. That's big here.
And a ground ball that is foul. 0-2. Nationals lineup tonight. Eaton at the top, then Robles and Kendrick. Matt Adams bats cleanup. Then Gomes, Kieboom, Defoe, Taylor, and Scherzer, presented by GMC. Max Scherzer, let's just say he was less than pleased with that inning, going off the mound into the clubhouse, sprinting towards the dugout. He was hot.
I got a feeling he's probably hurting something. Chances are. Or he's, sitting down, meditating. Could be. I mean, I don't know what he's into. That didn't look like a meditation pose.
No, it didn't.
Oh.
There are some places, as you know, Brad.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
They have a punching bag there. Guys would take either their fist to the bag so it doesn't go to a wall, or a bat.
Yeah, definitely a bat.
Was that your choice of weapons?
Sometimes, if there was one close.
Hit sharply to second, taken there by Wong, and there's one away. Cardinal defense tonight. Ozuna, Bader, Martinez in the outfield. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Carpenter, DeYoung, Wong, and Goldschmidt on the infield. Yadier Molina is behind the plate. You know, the Cardinals dropped 5 of their first 8 games to start the year. It was such a tough series with Milwaukee, and yet only the Rays concluded April with a better record across the majors than the Cardinals. Martinez can't get there. Either can Goldschmidt or Wong. So there's strike 1 on Robles. I think Robles may have caught Molina with the bat. Take a look. Sure did.
Oh, right in the elbow. That's a long finish right there.
Bit surprising, but the third time in the last 4 starts for Max Scherzer. He's given up 2 or more runs in the first inning. And that's pulled foul, 0-2.
I think you just have to wonder if they looked anything like that inning.
Well, that's, I would think, would be the difference.
I mean, it really is. Even a guy as dominant as Max Scherzer is going to need a little help behind him. You mentioned the record of 1-3, but they've lost 5 of his 6 starts. A couple of them, the bullpen has imploded. A couple of them, the offense wasn't able to get anything going. And you're absolutely right. Looking at this lineup for the Nationals, it looks a lot different without a Trey Turner. It looks a lot different without Rendon. Certainly, we all know Bryce Harper is a Philly now. Zimmerman, plantar fasciitis, finds himself on the IL as well. And now Juan Soto today, late scratch, back spasms. Michael A. Taylor fills in. You see old Cardinal pitching coach Derek Lilliquist there.
So 2-2. And the count runs full. Well, the Nationals jumped out to that 3-0 lead through 2 innings on Monday night. Last night, 2-0 lead. But the Cardinals bullpen, a story that's developing with this team. They've limited the Nationals to 1 hit in 21 at bats. 1 for 21. The bullpen has done the job the last 2 nights for Mike Schilt.
It certainly has been a cast of characters out there. It's not like they're leaning on the same 1-2 guys. It's been a little bit of everybody.
Swing and a miss, and the strikeout. First of the night for Miles Mikolas.
Well, a well-located fastball here. I think Yachty wanted it in, ends up away, but it's in a good spot to get Robles, who's had an interesting start to the game.
Now Howie Kendrick batting third in this lineup, the 36-year-old. And strike 1. Now the team, you mentioned how Scherzer is seen in his start, 6 of them, 5 losses by the team. They've scored a total of just 11 runs in those games. In his 1 victory, they had 12, and that was against the Mets. Every other game combined, 11.
It's hard to win like that, especially when you have a guy in the bump that you know is going to give you quality. I mean, his last outing, he went 7 innings. He only gave up 2 runs. He punched out 10, and they ended up losing that one.
So where CC Sabathia picked up strikeout number 3,000 last night. Scherzer comes in with 2,503, and he's now third on the active list of pitchers in terms of strikeouts, and that one caught our home plate umpire. He says he's all right. Second on the list, Justin Verlander, is the 3,000 strikeout pitcher. I don't want to say it's becoming extinct because strikeouts are up in the game.
Longevity's not, though.
Yeah, the longevity just isn't there.
Yeah, Verlander, I believe, Verlander will get there. I mean, I know he's getting up there. I believe he's 37 now, but he doesn't pitch like he's 37.
No.
He takes great care of himself. Max Scherzer, I believe, will certainly get to that plateau also.
And for CC Sabathia, he now has 3,002 strikeouts with family and friends there. Did it with the New York Yankees in Arizona. Great moment for baseball for one of the good people in the game.
CC still got that slider, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit different. He doesn't run up 97, 98 anymore. We were talking about this with Adam Wainwright last night, who did a great job. I mean, very, very good outing by Adam Wainwright. To me, it's impressive, the guys that can reinvent themselves and pitch with what they have.
And a base hit left side past Carpenter. So Howie Kendrick is aboard. The 2-out base hit. So 2-out hit for Kendrick. A reminder that play ball is MLB's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. To find a youth organization near you, go to playball.org/playball near you. There's only 3 lefties, by the way, that are part of the 3,000 strikeout club. And that's Randy Johnson, Steve Carlton, the former Cardinal, and now CC Sabathia. Here's Matt Adams. You mentioned the home runs allowed by Michaelis, and that's been a bit surprising. Only 5 pitchers have allowed more than Miles this year. 8 home runs in 34 innings. Last year, a total of 16 in over 200 innings by Michaelis. It was .72 home runs per 9 last year, and that was the 5th lowest in all of baseball.
Yeah, it's one of those years. We know that, as you mentioned, I mean, home runs are up, but he's made mistakes. They've been up in the zone, and I still believe that when he's on, I mean, he's one of the best. We've seen it. We've seen the great, well-located breaking balls. Good breaking ball right there. I think Miles Michaelis is going to be just fine.
And the 1-2 pitch misses way in, and it's 2-2. Cardinals again with the outfield that features Bader and Ozuna and Martinez. No Dexter Fowler, still a bit under the weather. And pitch number 25 here this first inning, and that's pulled foul. Adams with 3 home runs this year. Most recent was on Sunday, and a walk-off. Swing and a miss. Took something off it, and a strikeout for Miles Michaelis. 2 in the inning. Cardinals on top. To 2,500 strikeouts in the history of baseball, and third on that list, Max Scherzer. Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, both Hall of Famers. I would say if it ended today, Max Scherzer is in the Hall of Fame. And Colton Wong with a fly ball into right. Robles over and makes the catch. We check in with Erica.
Thank you, Dan. Obviously, Matt Wieters spent 2 seasons here with the Nationals, caught 273 in the 3rd innings against with Max Scherzer. That is 3rd most all time. So he certainly has a good grasp on how to handle Scherzer. And he says Max's stuff speaks for itself, and he's the ultimate competitor. But you're going to have to match his competitive level out there. That's what it comes down to. And don't be afraid and back down on him, because if you do, he'll eat you up. So it's just about the competitive spirit out there. It'll be about who can grind it out the best, which we've seen the Cardinals do, but certainly a gift there in the 1st inning for them as well.
Yep, no doubt. And Matt Wieters knows this guy and the guy tomorrow so well, Steven Strasburg. So that's always interesting as Bader steps in, how much the players and the coaching staff goes to Matt Wieters, and they'll say, well, what does he do in certain counts and patterns?
Yeah, and I think a lot of those things, I mean, we can find out. You can dig into a database. So I feel like having a personal connection to somebody, it's almost better for stuff that you can't look up. So it's like, hey, what gets him going? What makes him mad? We know that he pitches a little bit mad anyhow. Like, what really sends him over the top? Like, how do you get him off his game? Now, with a guy like Scherzer, there's probably very little that can get him off his game. But to me, those are the things that are interesting. The other stuff you can look up, and you know tendencies and stuff like that. But somebody that's played alongside another person kind of knows how they work a little bit. I feel like that kind of helps deconstruct him.
3-1 the count on Bader. He's had a good series thus far. And sends one out to deep right. Robles back, spun around again, and makes the catch. So he's had 3 plays tonight, Brad. Twice he has been spun around, and the other one he just misplayed. He does not look comfortable in right field.
Well, the ball will find you. We know that one. You see the route here by Robles. Does turn around, opens up the hips. The wind kind of taking the ball that way. You do know this off the bat of a right-hander. When it's going that way, it's going to tail towards the line. Tell you what, I really enjoy seeing Harrison Bader hit the ball with authority to the right side.
That's where he homered in right center the other night to get the rally started, part of their 6-run inning for the Cardinals. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Miles Michaelis. First 2 have been retired here in the top of the second. Puts it in play. 2-2. Wilmer Difo coming up. Gomes, Keyboom, and Difo. Cardinals on top. Cardinals starters the last 4 games. Hudson, Flaherty, Waka, and Wainwright last night. How about Waino? Going back to your point, 6 1/3, found a way, and that's really the way that he's been going all year, finding a way to win games.
He is, and Wainwright has figured out. I mean, he knows himself so well. He knows his mechanics so well. His breaking ball is still there. We saw Uncle Charlie, the 12-6, but he shapes it in different ways now. He throws it in different counts, and look, he's a competitor. He knows how to pitch. He gave up just back-to-back home runs and then settled in really well. Took the momentum back for the Cardinals, and he's been their most consistent starter so far this year.
Here's Yan Gomes. Gomes, Keyboom, and Wilmer Difo. And a pop-up into shallow right. Martinez coming on and on and on to make the catch. Reminder that Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Steak and Shake. Get 4 meals with 4 items for $4. 444, get more for 4, only at Steak and Shake. Here's Carter, Keyboom. Really, there's 2 big plays thus far in this game. The misplay in right, and then Keyboom, young, talented, top draft pick at short, filling in for Trey Turner with Ozuna, the runner, at second base. A ground ball with the infield in, but you could see he was trying to avoid Ozuna. And the runner's got to give you a chance to make the play. It could have been a collision, maybe, you don't know, or he gets tied up. And then all of a sudden, 2 runs are off the board. Instead, 3-0, and now he grounds out.
See what it did look like. Ozuna was behind him. Now, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Ozuna was given the heavy footsteps behind him. You know, that run where it's like you make sure the guy hears you. It's, you know, it gets in their head a little bit. Whatever happened right there. Keyboom laid back a little bit and then missed it by a foot and cost him a couple runs.
Late swing by Difo. Big happy birthday to Hillary Gibson. Hillary watching Cardinals baseball, then getting set for Blues hockey tonight. Also Grant Washburn, Eric Hickert, happy birthday to those 2. And both turning 82 today. But the movement on that pitch on 0-2.
And this is 94, starts
Wow.
in off the plate and comes back. I mean, that's Maddox-esque with some more velocity. That's filthy. You bottle that thing. Golly. Maddox
was incredible on left-handed batters. The ability to start it at the hip of a left-handed batter, then guys gave up on it, tail back into the zone.
It's such a hard pitch to be able to execute too, because you have to reach out there so far and you have to be able to stay on top of the 2-seam to be able to bring it back. Miles did that well. Maddox made a living out of it.
So 2 outs. It's a long bottom of the first, but no damage done against Michaelis. Nearly 30 pitches, and this is pitch number 36 tonight. And a foul ball. You see a lot of defo in spring training when the regulars get their work in, 4th or 5th, maybe the 6th inning. Some of the bench guys and younger players get into games, and with the proximity of their ballpark to Jupiter, we see the Nationals an awful lot. So you get a chance to check out Wilmer Difo.
Yeah, I saw Difo here yesterday at the ballpark early. I mean, this is really early. It was before the Nationals batting practice, and he was actually out there working on sliding. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in a long time, especially at the big league level. And it wasn't like on a slide mat out in the outfield. He was sliding into second.
That's taken there by Carpenter, and an easy 1-2-3. Matt Carpenter leads it off when we come back. Cardinals with a 3-0 lead. Top of the lineup: Carpenter, Goldschmidt, and DeYoung. Matt now hitless, 0 for his last 12 with 7 strikeouts. That's very unlike Carpenter.
It is, for sure. And this season so far has been unlike what we've seen, at least at the back of his baseball card. We know the slow start that he had last year. We know how he picked it up, as you see Jeff Albert there, Cardinals hitting coach. As we were downstairs earlier, it was those two guys, 1-2 punch, working in the cage, getting stuff going. You mentioned the 0 for 12. Right now, Goldschmidt's in an 0 for 7. I mean, just kind of a slow couple of days.
We were down in the Cardinal clubhouse very late before our first pitch. The teams both did not take batting practice on the field. And Carpenter and Goldschmidt working, and I mean working hard, with Jeff Albert in the cage underneath trying to get things right. Goldschmidt singled his first time up. 2-2 here on Carpenter. Also Mark Budaska, the assistant hitting coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. Had a nice conversation. There's Buda with Mark before the game. He has been around baseball for a long time. Long time.
Guys love working with him. I mean, you remember a couple of years ago, Randall Grichuk was one of the guys that was referenced all the time when he got a chance to go down there and work with him, how great he felt about his swing, about his timing. It takes a village, doesn't it? I mean, there are so many guys that put in the work. Most of it's behind the scenes. I mean, you don't get a chance to see what they're doing, but I'm telling you, every day these guys are the first ones to the ballpark. They're the last ones to leave.
And now a 2-2 pitch coming up to Carpenter. Outside corner, and the first strikeout for Scherzer. I asked Buda, I said, why do you still do it? And he said, these are my guys. There's Buda there on the left, Jeff Albert on the right, and he has worked with Matt Carpenter in the minor leagues, Colton Wong, Paul DeYoung, Bader, Patrick Wisdom, who is a guy that got called up, David Freese. Interesting background in baseball and in his education. As Goldschmidt lifts it in the air out to shallow left. Kieboom with the catch. He has a degree in kinesiology. And then when he got out of playing, he did make it to the big leagues. He was not in baseball. He was in the biomechanical field. And he said there are a lot of things you look at in that field and kinesiology that relate to what you do as a hitter. But one of the things I try to do is make it really simple. And he started going through some of the things what he talks about with the hitters now. It was fascinating. Fascinating.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest things. All the information that's out there, the information can be great and the information is very, very helpful, but you have to figure out a way to relay it to the guys. And consolidate all that information and put it in a form where they get it, they can understand it, and they can utilize it.
And Buda was with the Boston Red Sox and the Angels organization, and then a number of years in the minor leagues with the Cardinals. And then last year he and George Greer came up, and you saw some of the minor league players he had, they picked it up. TD Ameritrade's the right call. Paul DeJong, the National League rankings right now for Paul, who's putting together what might be an all-star campaign. A good start to it.
That looks like it for sure. I love his approach right now at the plate. Even right there, I mean, it's 0-2 and he fouls off a nasty slider. Just gives himself more chances. We've seen a lot of that, and we've seen him drive the ball the other way.
Little high at 97. Tough pitch to take with 2 strikes, but it goes DeJong's way. 1-2. Singled and scored back in the first inning. 3-0 Cardinals. And a strikeout and 2 in the inning for Max Scherzer.
I had no idea also how great of actors some of the stars were.
What are you saying?
I'm saying they flop more than.
Oh,
what? There's some flops.
Okay.
There's some flops. Some embellishment, if you will.
Embellishment,
Yeah.
yes. Here's Michael A. Taylor. Ground ball. DeJong gloves, throws, out. Michaelis is settled in, and it looks like both guys are starting to get locked in. This could be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Pounding the strike zone, getting the ball down in the zone, a lot of weak contact. I mean, that's where Miles Michaelis, makes his money. I mean, it's all down. Michaelis gets a lot of guys to 2 strikes. He doesn't get as many strikeouts as you would think, getting to those counts, but it's not always about the strikeout. The other day, Jack Flaherty had a great game, only punched out 4. It's all about weak contact.
Max Scherzer, the St. Louis native, facing his childhood team, the St. Louis Cardinals. He signed a monster 7-year deal in January of 2015. 7 years, $210 million. And yet, 2-3, the record against the Cardinals. You can talk about the big deals in baseball, and it's broken down with WAR, and WAR then put into terms of money. He has been worth every penny.
I was going to say, you don't find too many guys when they sign these big deals. They say they have overperformed.
Carpenter makes the play, and good thing that Michaelis didn't get to it.
For sure. He knocks that down. Max Scherzer gets there. But Max Scherzer has. I mean, everything that he's done, you crunch all the numbers. I mean, he's been worth every single penny of that contract.
I used to do many of his games in college.
Did you really?
Yeah. And the intensity that you're seeing now was displayed back then. And what's interesting is that there were so many scouts at the games, and some of the worries back then were about the violent delivery and repeatable motion that he had with his mechanics. I don't think we're too worried about it anymore.
No, I think he figured it out. There's some beauty in violence sometimes. He's got that figured out with those mechanics of his.
So top of the lineup, Adam Eaton. It was Mike Rizzo, who was with the Arizona Diamondbacks at the time, and now with the Nationals and their GM, that made that deal for Scherzer. He knew all about him. He's the one that drafted him. Good years in Arizona, great years in Detroit, and now here in Washington. And really a good guy, too. Love being around Max. 1-2 pitch. Starting to see that pattern of in and out now.
He's looking good. He's showing off a really nice curveball so far tonight. The fastball missing in for effect. Going to set him back up.
And the 2-2. In again.
Miles Michaelis, when he was coming off the mound, I believe it was after the 3rd inning in Monterrey, Mexico, we had Mike's close enough, and he was talking to Yadier Molina about the fact that he likes to be able to go inside, prove that he can throw in there for a strike, and then he's able to open everything else up. When you can throw in for a strike and in for effect, well, that really gives you the third of the plate away, because hitters have to respect that.
And it's in the air left side. Foul territory. Carpenter with room and makes the catch. 7 in a row set down by Michaelis. Ozuna coming up. May 11th, that's a Saturday. 30,000 fans 16 and older can stay cool in style. They'll receive a mystery performance t-shirt courtesy of Maryville University. Which one of the 4 designs will you get? Well, you'll find out at the gates. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Marcell Ozuna.
Are all those shirts built for huge biceps, or they're like normal size ones too?
Well, we saw that Tyler O'Neill, he could fit right into it.
Okay.
And you'll have no problem. You specifically.
Yeah, no, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll fit right in. I'll have a little extra room, actually.
Ozuna, Martinez, and Molina for the Cardinals. And that's pulled foul. If you just joined us, first inning, misplays behind Scherzer. This one glaring as it should have been caught in right by Robles. And then with the infield in, it gets through. And 2 runs would come in to score. And Ozuna gets a hanger and drills it down into the corner and left. On his way to second base, and in there standing up, leadoff double. So Marcell Ozuna has a couple of doubles. The one was the misplay by Robles, and then that one there moments ago.
Well, the first one, he got jammed a bit. This one just gets hung right down the middle. 87 miles an hour. Quick hands here by Marcell Ozuna. And he gets it going again. The Cardinals, again, the last couple of games have had a big inning, but then they haven't been able to add much after that. It's been that one inning where they score and then nothing else. The hope tonight against one of the toughest pitchers in baseball is you can string a couple of those innings together.
Cardinals ended the first with a double play ball. And then Scherzer at a 1-2-3 second and third inning. And now the leadoff double here in the fourth. Here's Martinez, who had the ground ball that got through to bring in 2. He now has driven in 15. And the 0-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. Max Scherzer, while at Mizzou, he pitched 3 years there. 2.60 ERA, 226 strikeouts in college in 3 years. In his sophomore year, Mizzou had their first 40-win campaign since the early 90s. He was the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. Tigers made a super regional appearance, and also at that point had a win against #1 Florida. And now they're in the SEC. And Mizzou is 30-15-1, and at one point ranked in the top 25 college baseball. And they're third right now in the SEC East. SEC, a lot of great teams and players coming out of there. Swing and a miss. Strikeout of Jose Martinez. And now you can call Max Scherzer a Mizzou Hall of Famer. There's only been 3 that have had, prior to Scherzer, their numbers retired. And that was Phil Bradley, Gene McCarter, and John Simmons. But they did retire his number 31 jersey. And that's hit out of play. He was the 11th overall pick, 2006. And Mizzou made one of the great, and I mean great, baseball players ever to come out of the state of Missouri, Max Scherzer.
For sure. And you know that he loves getting back there to Mizzou. And it's amazing what having a guy like that can do for your program.
Absolutely.
I mean, having a guy like that around and representing and saying, look, Max did this, you can do it.
And Molina lifts a fly ball into right center. Michael A. Taylor with the catch. Ozuna stays put, and there's 2 away. It's the amazing thing, the 2,500 strikeouts now at this level, and he's had 1,000 in both leagues.
I would have to think that there aren't too many guys that have done that. It's hard to pitch as long as he's done already. It's incredibly hard to be dominant for that long, and he just keeps climbing up there. As we said earlier, 3rd fastest at 2,500 strikeouts behind Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez. That's pretty good.
Yep. So 2 outs and the runner at second base. And the University of Missouri getting a lot of players from the St. Louis area and keeping players at home if they don't sign when they're drafted and want to play collegiately. And Scherzer had that opportunity because he was drafted by the Cardinals. Did not sign and went on to Mizzou and became a top pick.
The old one that got away.
There's a bunch for any franchise.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing, though, when you're drafted and teams know, as you've seen, Brad, that they say, hey, I'm committed to go to Mizzou or Florida, Georgetown. It doesn't matter in baseball, but make it worth my while not to go.
And then maybe we'll talk about it.
Right.
And you just never know. I mean, sometimes guys need those 3 years to develop when
Absolutely.
they go to these schools.
I've talked to some that believe the hardest draft is baseball to project.
So far off. You're not drafting for somebody that's going to affect your big league team the next year.
And they say the top 5 picks, you know, are you think can't miss. This is the first 5. And then after that, they say, we hope.
Yeah, we're taking a flyer on a kid that's got a really good tool.
Yeah.
Throws 100. We'll see what happens.
Sure.
That is. It's very hard. And credit all the hard work to all the scouts out there and they go find these guys and spend their time working and going out there, the diamonds in the rough out there. It's hard to develop a one tool. It's hard to find a shortstop that you saw a 96 across the diamond and thought, oh, he might pitch for us, Trevor Rosenthal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difficult job.
That Mizzou squad this year, a lot of lefties. They've allowed the fewest runs, by the way, in the SEC. They can pitch. And they've got a kid named Cameron Misner. I love following college baseball, but he plays first base and center field. That combination.
That's a weird combination.
And he's projected to be the first Mizzou position player selected in the first round. Been ranked as high as number 8 in the upcoming draft, and we mentioned that they're very good in the SEC and 30-15-1 Missouri Tigers. So the walk to Colton Wong, and now it's Bader, sent one to deep right first time up. The 1-1 pitch with 2 outs and 2 on. Can hear Scherzer at times when he's wanting to put a little extra on it, grunting, and also you can hear some choice words too when he's frustrated.
Yeah, he's colorful. Bader in a similar at-bat yesterday, let one travel, shot it over the second baseman, going to try to attack him away most likely.
Max Scherzer also has a unique look because of his eye color. Heterochromia. Right eye is blue, left eye brown, and it's genetic. The 2-2 inside. A lot of kids get it. He has fun with it too.
Yeah. Old blue eye. He's making it cool.
Well, he was in a foul ball earlier in spring training, one that almost got him, and he said, well, that could have given me 2 blue eyes. I have black and blue. Runners go, and a swing and a miss. Couple of strikeouts for Scherzer. We're in the bottom of the 4th, and we check in with Erica.
Dan, I spoke with Jose Martinez before the game today. Much of what we've seen from the Cardinals this season is about them manufacturing runs as of late and different guys stepping up every night, like we saw last night with Colton Wong's bunt with the bases loaded. And he said, we always believe it's one part of the game in doing our job. He says, we're trying to score, not trying to score every inning, but we're certainly looking for the right moment to do it. And it's all about taking advantage, be it a walk, an error, or taking a good at bat. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Everybody was surprised, including the coaching staff of the Cardinals, when Wong dropped down that bunt with 2 outs and the bases loaded last night, as Victor Robles is the first batter here in the home half of the 4th. 3-0 Cardinals. We were talking to Mike Shilt's staff, and we said, did you guys see this coming? Nope. Were you happy? Oh yeah. And if he didn't get it right, didn't get it down, we wouldn't have been too happy.
Probably would have had a little chat. Hey, we might like you to swing it there.
Base hit by Robles, and if you missed it last night, bases loaded, 2 outs, and he drops down a bunt. Run scores, and then after that, Harrison Bader with a single to bring in 2, and that was the scoring for St. Louis.
Look at Defoe over there at third. He was on his heels. He's waiting for Colton to swing it, maybe shoot a rocket his way, and then he lays down a perfect bunt. I don't think he could have rolled it out there any better than that one. It was huge, and then, as you mentioned, the hit by Bader afterwards really got it going.
It's just the second hit for the Nationals tonight. Robles base hit to left, and then also Howie Kendrick, he singled back in the 1st. Saw Steve Carlton on the list that we were talking about, and the lefties of those that have gotten to 3,000 strikeouts, only 3 of them. Randy Johnson, Carlton, and then Sabathia. Steve Carlton, after he was traded away, went 38-14 against the Cardinals. He had 38 wins against St. Louis.
It's almost like he had something to prove.
And then, if you remember, at one point he held, because Nolan Ryan was injured, he was #1 on the all-time strikeout list, and he did that against St. Louis. If memory serves correct, I think Lonnie Smith was the batter. And then later that year, it was 1983, he got win number 300 against the Cardinals.
So glad that the Cardinals could be there for all those milestones.
Well, it makes you think.
Oh, don't.
Carlton, Jerry Royce, some of the others that they had on those good teams, not great teams in the 70s, but Steve Carlton would have made you great and get you over the hump into postseason play.
Yeah, but it would have cost a lot of money. Or was it a little bit of money?
It was a little bit of money. I never heard this story until Steve told me, which most people know. You know, it was a few $1,000s that they were going back and forth over. And then he was traded to the Phillies, upset management and ownership. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Howie Kendrick instead of check on Robles. And he told me about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, he said, what maybe fans don't know is that I was walking down the hall to accept the deal to stay in St. Louis. So he's physically walking down the hall to tell them, okay, I'm not happy about it, but I'm coming back. But they had already made the deal. The base hit into left center, cut off by Bader. Throw will go into second. Runners at the corners with nobody out. Back-to-back singles.
Well, he's trying to go in here, leaves it right down the middle. Kendrick gets his second knock of the day. Had to freeze really quick, did Robles, but then sees it through, goes first to third.
So runners at the corners. Some trouble here now for Michaelis and Matt Adams.
Well, he punched him out the first time around with a curveball. It was nice to see lefties Michaelis has struggled with a little bit this year.
Get down the left field line and out of play.
Falling behind a little bit, then having to go to him. A lot of damage has been from that side. The average is up higher for the lefties than it is the righties. But he's buried some very good breaking balls so far to the lefties in this lineup.
And the 0-1 pitch. Infield is back. Goldschmidt holding at first. The check swing. Nothing at 2. The ability with a runner at third to make that pitch.
It was huge. Well, you saw before that, Miles Michaelis stepped off and told Robles, hey, look, I'm looking at you at the very least. You're not going to get halfway down the line because of something like that. If you let him get too far down the line, if one kicks away a little bit, he's got a chance. I mean, even if Carpenter's not holding him close, you got to let him know you got an eye on him. But it is nice to be able to know that you can spike one and Yadi's going to smother it back there.
And the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And Adams strikes out. That's number 3 tonight for Miles Michaelis. The other 2 in the first inning.
Well, got it with the curveball the first time in and buried it. This one away. It's just a great pitch. He's got such a good feel for that curveball so far today. Now it's time for that ground ball. Use that defense, roll one up, get back in there and start swinging it again.
So runners at first and third. And Yan Gomes fly to right first time up. And a little bouncer hit to Carpenter. Out there the turn and not in time. The run will score. And the Nationals get on the board to make it a 3-1 ball game. Really nothing that Wong could do there.
This one just not hit hard enough to turn it. Carpenter does go to second to get him there. I think that Colton Wong did as good as he can. Great pitch. Another nice curveball out away. See, this thing just takes a couple of hops. That's a quick turn. Look how fast those hands are from Colton Wong. Not much more he can do right there.
And it brings in Keyboom. Rounded out to second. So Robles scoring the first run for the Nationals tonight. 2 outs, runner at first base. And ball 1. We turn the calendar to May. This time last year was the Mets, the Cubs, and Diamondbacks first place of their divisions. Whole new group here in 2019. The Phillies, Cardinals, and Dodgers. We'll see if it stays that way.
Let's hope at least one of them does. Cubs have been heating up here recently, playing better baseball. Should be a very fun weekend in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Always is, but even better when both clubs are playing well.
Cubs playing much better here recently. They won again last night. And they lead 9-0 playing in Seattle. Two and two. The 2-2 pitch. And a foul ball. Interesting how Michaelis comes set when he wiggles the glove. Ryan Dempster used to do that, and Miles will tell you that's to not give away going in the glove to get a particular grip.
Yeah, you know what? Hitters are smart. They look for everything, and I started doing this later in my career because I would get too big when I would go in for my changeup. The glove would flare out, and every time somebody would see a bigger glove, they would know what was coming. So Miles moves it around, flares it around, so he can get his grip in there, and everything looks the same, does the same thing on every pitch. Miles Michaelis, by the way, has a really good feel for his breaking ball today, his curveball today. Usually against righties, you see him throw the slider a lot more. I mean, that's his go-to pitch. Hasn't had as great of a feel. Only 8 sliders so far today, but the curveball has been very effective. One, righties don't see it a ton, and two, it's just been nasty.
3-2 pitch, and he walked him. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Watching the 2-0 while your friends go for the steal? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
So the 2-out walk. Switch hitter Wilmer Defoe hit a soft liner to third first time up. Runners at first and second. And a grounder off the glove of Goldschmidt. Wong backing up. Runner stays put. That's Gomes. And if that gets through, Wong was there. Michaelis at the bag, and they might be out of the inning. Instead, it's a base hit, and now a visit from pitching coach Mike Maddox.
Well, you don't want to take the aggressiveness away here from Goldschmidt. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time, has multiple gold gloves. Might have been an easier play for Colton Wong behind it. It's all about limiting the damage at this point, though. You got bases loaded, execute a pitch right here.
The batter will be Michael A. Taylor. The pitch count at 69 already for Miles. So play here in the home half of the fourth. Keep an eye on that. They're all loaded up for the 8th place hitter. Taylor grounded to short first time up. Strike one. Gomes, Keyboom, Defoe, all aboard now for the Nats. And the 0-1 pitch by Miles Michaelis.
Well, the way that scoring has been in this series, and with the guy that's on the bump on the other side in Max Scherzer, I mean, this could be your game right here. I mean, this is executing a pitch, getting this batter. The scoring will be hard to come by.
And the 1-1 pitch. Liner into center. Bader, he's there, makes the catch. You get the great diving catch in game 1. Hard hit ball right to him here in game 3. Nationals get on the board. It's 3-1. There's Michaelis to start play here in the 5th, and a fastball. A strike from Max Scherzer. From Parkway Central High School, Max Scherzer. Then drafted in the 43rd round by the Cardinals. Signed with Mizzou. And the 11th overall pick by Arizona in 2006. Puts it in play. Hit to short. A lot of English on that baseball. And there's one away. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. By Missouri Baptist Medical Center, doctors call it world-class medicine, you'll call it MoBap. And by National Car Rental. Go National, go like a pro. Brings in Carpenter 0 for 2.
Just love to see him get going. This lineup is already very, very good. Scoring a ton of runs. Came into the game with the best batting average in the NL. And this guy hasn't even got going yet. With Carpenter, I know it's been tough here recently. The 4 strikeout game yesterday. Has a punch out today, but I just keep leaning on what have I seen here the last couple of years. I've seen him come around. As mentioned before, you know he's putting in the work. Saw him today in the cages. Him and Goldschmidt going crazy and working to get it going. Now would be a great time.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Inside. And a grounder pulled foul. In 2013, Scherzer so dominant. Went 11-0 to start the season. He's had some just remarkable stats in his career. 2,500 Ks, multiple Cy Youngs, but still looking for that first championship ring. World championship. Said that's what motivates him now. 3-2. And it's put in play and into the shift. 2 away. He was asked about it yesterday. Preparation for this start. What keeps you going? What do you want to get to milestone wise? And he really kind of brushed that off and said, I want the feeling of winning the World Series.
Yeah. Well, you can imagine that, right? With all the things that he's been able to accomplish, with all those things that you just rattled off. He's got the big contract. He and his family are set for life. It's about winning. And when you watch him compete, I think it's safe to say it's kind of always been that way. Like, it's always been about winning. It's about winning every pitch. It's about winning every at-bat, every inning, every game. But that's the last thing that's left to check off.
0-2 on Goldschmidt. Singled to center. That was just his second hit against Scherzer. He's now 2 for 13 in his career with a whole bunch of strikeouts. But he's not the only one. In the dirt, 1-2. when Max received the Cy Young Award, one of the things that he did outside of thanking family and friends was thanking Tim McCarver. Tim McCarver had said during that year prior to it, he said Scherzer's going to win the Cy Young. Max heard it, remembered it, and said, "Thank you, Tim." And a swing and a miss. So again, the Cardinals go 1-2-3. Third inning that Scherzer's done that. 3 goals. Home half of the 5th rolls in. It'll be Scherzer, Eaton, and Robles against Miles Mikolas.
It was a longer inning in the 4th for Miles Mikolas. Ended up facing 7 batters. Got that pitch count up a little bit. The hope here is pound the strike zone. Quick inning.
Get out of play. 0-2.
It was a 23 pitch 4th inning. Threw a lot of pitches in the 1st inning as well.
One and 2 the count. Scherzer grounded softly to third first time up. Pitch number 76 from the Cardinals right-hander here. This time a little sharper to third. Carpenter stays with it, makes the play for the first out. So with 1 out here in the home half of the 5th, gives us the opportunity to tell you about the Phillips 66 ticket vouchers. They're back better than ever. Fill up at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more. You can get a voucher for up to 50% off on up to 8 tickets to a Cardinals home game. Cardinals.com/Phillips66. Here's Adam Eaton. Grounded out, popped out into foul territory, 0 for 2.
Saw a little opportunity right there, trying to spark something, get it going. Try to pull one with him down that side.
Are you a big fan of playing Mario Brothers?
Oh, huge fan.
Adam Eaton's got the stash going, doesn't he?
Got it. Were you a big Mario guy back in the day? Tried the corner in this.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Figured you were in on something like that.
I was more of a guy that was always studying. Just trying to better myself through education.
Yeah, I don't think that's totally accurate.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Gets the corner, 1 and 2.
If I had the opportunity, though, generally I would use Luigi as my character.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, more of a Luigi guy, especially in Mario Kart.
And a grounder. Long there, 2 away. Well, you mentioned it that Mikolas would be good to have a quick inning, and he may get it here. He's got the first 2, and now Victor Robles. Singled to left and scored the only run tonight for Washington, and also struck out. And the 1-0 lifted in the air out to left, and a 2-out base hit. Brings in Kendrick, who's 2 for 2.
See Mikolas throw a lot of good curveballs. This one's down in the zone, just hangs up enough for him to put the barrel on it, get it out there.
Kendrick now up to 340. The 2 more hits tonight. 2 outs, runner at first, and the first pitch to him. Where would this offense of the Nationals be without Howie Kendrick? Injuries that they've sustained, and Kendrick has stepped up.
He's been a mainstay for them, and they're missing out on a lot of pop. Didn't know coming into the series what was going to be the case with Rendon. He ends up getting put on the IL.
And he's 3 for 3 with that base hit into right. Robles on his way to third, then stopped. And back-to-back hits with 2 outs.
Tell you what, that's the thing about Howie Kendrick, and we're in an era right now where, and it's different with the runner on first, obviously, and you're going to change some things around a little bit, but there are shifts all the time. But the thing about a guy like Kendrick is he drives the ball all over the place. I mean, he's got an up-the-middle approach. If it's away, he's going to hit it away. There's a reason you stay in the league as long as he has.
Never hear the term spray the ball. It's all about damage.
Yeah, but spraying the ball around can do some good things, and it creates other opportunities for somebody behind you to do some damage.
That's right. It's a big at bat here with Big City at the plate. 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts, and looks at strike 1.
Both strikeouts have been on the curveball. He got him with 1 down and in. The second time, curveball away. See how he attacks him this time.
313 the average with runners in scoring position for Matt Adams. And the 0-1 pitch. Nothing at 2. Good fastball. Michaelis, 3 strikeouts tonight, 2 of them of Adams, and that is tapped foul to stay alive.
Tries the curveball again, went upstairs with the fastball, and that's a combination that works very well. You see the fastball up in the zone, then you throw the curveball that looks like the heater off of it and drops off the table.
And the 0-2 pitch. Adams hits it into the shift. There's Wong from the outfield grass and makes the play. 3-1 St. Louis. All right, Scotty, thank you. 3-1 our score here in the top of the 6th. Big out there on the ground out by Adams. So it's DeYoung, Ozuna, Martinez trying to get something going now against Scherzer. A rocky start to this game, but since then, it's typical Max Scherzer.
And I'm not even sure if it's fair to say it was a rocky start for Max Scherzer, because there were a couple of balls misplayed behind him. One by Robles out in right field, another one by Carter Kieboom at short, a play where he thought that Ozuna was there, like he was going to run into him, and missed it.
And DeYoung hits one out to center. Under it, Michael A. Taylor for the out. And Paul DeYoung tonight, 1 for 3.
It's kind of been the story of the year for Max Scherzer so far.
The other thing about Scherzer, too, and I wonder if Davey Martinez manages differently the night before. But you know, Scherzer typically is going to go deep into a game. And what I mean by that, taking a chance then with his bullpen the night before, you know, realizing that your innings are going to get covered by this guy.
Yeah, no, you definitely can.
Here's Ozuna. Marcel, a couple of doubles. 9th time he's had a game with at least 2 doubles. And he may have a third. That's off the glove of the third baseman Kendrick, but Ozuna will stop at first base, and that was an absolute rocket down at third.
It's been a common theme here recently with Marcell Ozuna. That theme, loud noises, another one. Ball just right through Kendrick. He thinks he's got it. Just right off the top of the glove. Hit so hard, bends the glove back.
Brings in Martinez, and the single drove in 2 back in the first inning. Jose in game number 300 of his major league career tonight, and looks at a ball. Rocket Mortgage, do more to win. Jose Martinez, 4th highest batting average in baseball among active players this time frame. And it's only behind Jose Altuve, Daniel Murphy, and J.D. Martinez.
Incredible. It's incredible what
really
he's done. All he's done is hit everywhere he's been.
And the 1-0 pitch we mentioned earlier, through 300 games, where he ranks in Cardinal history among some of the all-time greats and Hall of Famers.
Some good names on that list. He has been great, and whatever role he is asked to fill, he does so. He does so with a smile. He does so with energy.
Here's a 2-0 pitch, and a pickoff that's scooped up there by Adams. I thought during the winter warm-up, to have an understanding of the kind of teammate that Jose Martinez is. A lot of people were asking him about, the potential of a trade. And then he's asked about, well, if you do come back, you're coming off the bench. Cardinals had talked about Fowler being in right field, and Bader in center, Ozuna in left. And he said the best thing that could happen is that Dexter Fowler bounces back and has a great year, and I don't have to play a lot. And that's taken inside. He said, not that I don't want to play, but for the betterment of the team, that's a good thing.
You know how special that is? You've been around this game a long time. It's hard to be selfless. Like, everybody tries to look out oftentimes for number one, but he's taking advantage, doing his job as best as he can whenever he gets the chance to do so. It was about 2 weeks ago. It was after the game. He was asked about it, and one of the first things he brings up is, hey, we need Bader back. We need Tyler O'Neill back.
We're a better team if they're back. And he's very selfless in that regard. You appreciate that.
Oh, no doubt.
So 2 on, and here's Yadier Molina. And that's tapped foul. Molina saw his hitting streak come to a close last night. Runners at first and second. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Pitch number 83 coming up for Max Scherzer. Inside corner. Yachty didn't like it.
Those are always interesting conversations with the catcher and the umpire when he's up to bat. I mean, this one in off the play. Good tailing actions. Very good pitch. And it's one that Yachty is saying, all right, well, I'd like my guy to see one of those too. Because in a big situation, that's going to need to be called.
You have to be selective with your words.
You do. You got to bite your tongue sometimes.
And the 0-2. Molina puts it in play softly towards short, and there's an error, or are they going to call it? Yep, they're going to call Ozuna out. And this is similar type play that we had back in the first inning that resulted to the Cardinals' favor of 2 runs. But this time, Kieboom, even though he was not tangled up with Ozuna, trying to avoid him, and they're going to call Ozuna out on the play.
I'm not sure that I saw a contact here on the play initially, at least off the bat. As we take a look at it again here, Yachty catches this one out in front, just puts it in play, tries to do something. There is nothing wrong with what Marcell Ozuna did there. All he did was run. He ran right through it. I don't know. I mean, he's taking a little bit of a turn, maybe, but I do not see any interference there.
I'm in agreement with you. I thought the first one was more egregious than that one. They may have said in that view that we had on the replay going towards third, maybe he came out of the line just a bit, deviated from where he was, which then would be a reason why you call him out. But you know, clearly it was with intent to try to get with the ball and with the shortstop. That's Luke Gregerson, by the way, next to Ozuna.
I don't think I agree with that one.
And if you're wondering, it's not a reviewable play. Should mention, by the way, that Luke Gregerson threw to 7 batters live today, so it's a matter of, I'm sure, maybe a day or two that he's activated. And it was 7 guys that normally are on the bench for the Cardinals, and no ball got out of the infield.
That's good news. The reports were a lot of late action on the pitches from Gregerson. For the Cardinals, potentially just another weapon that they can use. The Cardinals bullpen has been a big time area of strength, and you've had a lot of guys, anybody down there, you pick up the phone and Mike Scherzer has had a go-to guy. You'd have to think that, as you mentioned, Gregerson will be added to that mix soon.
So the 1-1. Mentioned the conversation I had with Mark Budaska, and he gave Colton Wong a great compliment. He said he may have the quickest hands on our team, and sometimes what you have to notice is the front leg. If he picks it up high and then gets it down, and it takes a while then for everything else to catch up. He said, want to get that front leg down and let that bat rip through the zone, and when he's doing that, he's as good as anybody. Quick hands. The 1-2 pitch. There's that quick bat right there.
Yeah, it was really quick, and as you mentioned, barely even picking up that front foot at all on that. You got to be able to be geared up for 96. You see it, just a quick little toe tap. He gets those hands going. Look, the swing is a constant evolution. You're always trying to work on things, trying to find the perfect fit, the perfect feel. Sometimes for guys it's the high leg kick, other times it's a toe tap. Sometimes it changes.
And the 1-2 pitch on Wong. Cardinals with 6 hits tonight. The Nationals with 6. And a 3-1 St. Louis lead. The 2-2 pitch to Colton Wong. Held on to by Gomes, and the strikeout, number 6 tonight for Max Scherzer. Midway through 6. 3-1 Cardinals. A look at the National Mall here in Washington. Conversation with Mike Schilt, and I'm sure that visit was about the play with Marcell Ozuna running from second to third on the grounder.
Yeah, sometimes you just want, after the fact, a little bit more clarity. And actually, it was home plate umpire Nick Marley and Gary Cederstrom, the third base umpire. They got together. They talked about it a little bit. And then Gary went over to talk to Mike Schilt. And maybe it was a, hey, we talked it over, and we think that's right. Maybe it was a, hey, we talked it over, and I might not have gotten that right. You never know, but it's nice to have that conversation, because you got to know if a situation arises, you know, what did my guy do wrong so we can fix it. Either way, though, Carter Kieboom does not look incredibly comfortable when somebody is right by him.
And here is Gomes, and he pops it foul and out of play. Well, I guess the only way that he interpreted it was that Ozuna failed to avoid him. And that's driven into the gap in left center. And Bader quickly over to get it. And a leadoff double for Yan Gomes.
lot of curveballs today from Miles Michaelis. This one here just kind of loops in there. It's down, but he sees it up. Hits this one hard into the gap.
And when you have that type of play, the play is ruled dead, and then the runner is out, and that's what we had last inning. So, leadoff double for Gomes, and now Keyboom, who has walked and grounded out. We're in the home half of the 6th, and there's strike one. Michaelis pitched out of trouble in the 4th inning. It's the inning he gave up a run, but he did have the bases loaded and Taylor up. He lined out to end that frame, and now the tying run is at the plate. Giovanni Gallegos, right-hander, who looked very good last time out, starting to get loose for the Cardinals in their bullpen.
I think he proved a lot last time. 2 scoreless innings for Gallegos. You look at the ball game. Maybe this is a 3-1 game. Maybe not the first person that comes to mind. Well, guys have been earning these roles. He certainly did so last time.
And the 0-2 pitch to Carter Keyboom struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Miles Michaelis. So Keyboom not able to advance the runner from 2nd to 3rd, and that's a big out.
Well, it's a great job of tying him up. He went inside, inside, inside. If the thought process for Keyboom was going to be, all right, well, I can just hit a ground ball the other way and get him over, Miles Michaelis was going to make it as tough as possible to do so. He ties him up and gets that first out.
Defoe has hit a soft liner to 3rd, and also a infield hit off the glove of Goldschmidt. 1 out, runner at 2nd, and strike 1. Well, this is where he has the bottom of this lineup and a chance to get out of this jam. Probably the final inning for Michaelis, who is due up 2nd for the Cardinals in the 7th inning. 20 of 25 first pitch strikes. Little check swing popped up. Carpenter, it's playable. 2 away. A lot of reasons to catch a game, and even more reasons to score your tickets at StubHub. They have the best selection of 100% MLB verified tickets available even after the first pitch. StubHub, an official partner of your St. Louis Cardinals.
Leadoff double, a couple of quick outs, and now faces Michael Taylor. One of the nice things, and look, not nice for the Nationals, but Soto was a late scratch today. Taylor fills in. Taylor hits from the right side. The struggles from Michaelis a lot of times this year have come from lefties.
Point, yeah.
You know, so I mean, this sets up very well.
And not only lefties, but in this particular instance, an elite lefty.
Yes.
In Soto.
Oh, yeah.
Max Scherzer at the on-deck circle. First base is open. Something to think about. You know, they have a right-hander getting loose. It's Bear Claw. And then you force the hand of Dave Martinez here, running out of outs. Do you want to go into your bullpen, much maligned, or do you stick with Scherzer with 2 runners on? And Mike Schilt and the Cardinals could force his hand to make that decision right here.
Good. No, Scherzer's up there too with his pitch count. He's at 90 as well.
I don't know. Put him on?
Yeah, I think I would definitely think about it. The problem is you end up putting the tying run on base. I think you're just super careful at this point. So tried to give him nothing to hit. It's breaking balls down the way. It's out of the zone. You do always run the risk of hanging one or leaving one in there. I don't know if I love putting that guy on. Scherzer at this point, though, he's been tough to get to.
Yeah.
The Cardinals were gifted the runs in the first.
2 balls and 1 strike. And now 2-2. Well, it changes the at bat now. 2-2 with 2 strikes. You think about putting them away. Michaelis to Taylor. And a high fly ball out to deep left. Ozuna back at the wall. He's got it. Just enough room. Marcell Ozuna near the bullpen door.
Told you don't walk him there. Easy.
Didn't have to scale the wall, thank goodness. And he makes the catch. It's history presented by the Lou Fuse Automotive Group. And find out more at Fuse.com. We've got walk-off hits. Edmonds, Adams, Yachty. Always like seeing in these highlights some of the other players that are still around, or those that were back in the day with those teams. And that, again, is brought to you by the Fuse Automotive Group.
I don't know how Jimmy hit that home run out. That thing was down. He had a pretty swing, didn't he?
Oh, man. One of the best. So Bader here, Jairo Munoz at the on-deck circle, and then the top of the Cardinal lineup. Thank goodness that bullpen jets out just enough. Right by the door where Ozuna made that catch. Now it may change what you do in 7, 8, 9. May not see Gallegos. You got to wonder about Miller. He's been used a bunch. Hicks had the day off yesterday. Got to wonder about John Gant.
Yep.
So maybe it's Brebbia, but Brebbia had a long outing 2 days ago.
Well, and maybe you stick with the guy that you had up in that game. Maybe this Gallegos, man. He looked so good the other day. Breaking ball was great. Spotting up his fastball. I think he turned a lot of heads there.
Harrison Bader is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Scherzer has struck out 6. First time up in the second. Sent one to deep right. That tough slider of Scherzer would be a hard matchup maybe here for Harrison Bader. We'll see.
We've seen Harrison foul some of those off and battle a little bit more, but this slider is next level. Over the changeup right there. I like that Scherzer uses that a lot to righties. I mean, it's almost a 50-50 split as far as the off speed goes of utilizing the changeup and the slider.
I know you were saying that the slider is, you know, the pitch behind the fastball, but you look at the numbers last year with that changeup, it was a dominating pitch. That's in the dirt. And he would at times, if he didn't have a feel for the slider, it became really fastball changeup.
Well, it's nice to be able to have an arsenal like that where you've got another thing that is super nasty that you can go to just in case one of them isn't working on a given day. And I still believe, and it's been for a long time, I believe that the right-on-right changeup is underutilized.
Fouled back, good cut. Pitch number 97. And Bader smokes it into the gap in left center. One hopper off the wall. Harrison to second base. He's had some really good at bats in this series.
It's all about just battling until you get a pitch that you can handle. And Harrison did just that with this one. You saw the foul ball. You saw him lay off some. And then you see this 96 fastball. Scherzer shook to it. It wasn't the initial call. And he wasn't able to locate it. Harrison puts a great swing on it, drives it in the gap, and here you go. You got something going now with nobody out against Max Scherzer.
So Jairo Munoz up. If you're going to bunt, you might as well just let Michaelis do it. So if he's not bunting, you got 3 cracks at it with a man in scoring position. And strike one.
It goes back to a theme that we've talked about a lot this year is productive at bats. You got to be able to make something happen. Certainly you'd love to see a base hit and scoring, but at the very least you'd love to see a ground ball to the right side to get him over. Something to have a productive at bat.
So Bader's second double of the year, and Munoz Hits it down the right field line, but foul. Munoz pinch hitting here for Miles Michaelis. Michaelis with 6 innings tonight, 7 hits, 1 run, struck out 4, and walked 1. Oh, 2 pitch here, and Munoz taps it foul. Pitch count at 100. Joe Ross, right-hander, throwing for the Nats. We saw him get up, not come in last night. Another 0-2 pitch to Jairo Munoz. And a strikeout. It's 7 for Scherzer. Helps strike out cancer. The St. Louis Cornhole Challenge. Jason Mott, Colton Wong, their teammates, May 20th. Raise awareness in the fight against cancer. Register your team, jasonmottfoundation.org/cornhole.
His 4th strikeout on that slider. That thing just disappears. See it at the bottom of the zone. Looks like the fastball that he spots up at 96, 97, and then just falls off.
Well, Carpenter right now is due. There's strike 1. Seen him also in this rut kind of expand his zone. Normally doesn't do that. Swing at pitches that he just doesn't handle quite well.
Yeah.
But
a lot of first pitch hacking too here recently, which you understand. I mean, at this point, you think it might be the best pitch you're going to see in an at bat. You want to get some things going.
So 1 out, runner at second, and an 0-1 pitch to Carpenter. Check on Harrison Bader, who stole third base in spring training time and again. He did that a bunch. Carpenter, base hit into right. Bader will be held up. He knew it was a matter of time. He was due.
Yep.
He was taking better swings in this ball game tonight as opposed to what we saw last night too.
You see one here. I mean, that's a hot zone right now for Matt Carpenter. There are a couple of pitches that he's handling really well. He's struggling with others, but middle in specifically, that's his hot spot right now. Scherzer finds it and finds himself a knock. We got runners at first and third. 1 out, and one of the best hitters in the game up. I like it.
Snaps an 0 for 14 for Carpenter. This is the Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. With the shift, I'm sure Bader off the bat would think, well, normally that's a base hit and I'm taking off, but second baseman was so far deep in right and he hit it.
You got to make sure.
Yeah, pretty well. So not sure if the right fielder is going to catch that, and was kind of caught between whether to go or not. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The hard part is now stringing a couple of hits off of this guy. Haven't seen too much of that. We saw it in the first inning. And hits, I guess, is gracious on a couple of the terms. Had some defensive gaffes behind Scherzer.
Pitch number 106 for Scherzer. Fouled back.
I like the grunt. Just letting it eat. Scherzer's been so great in his career overall, but especially in spots like this when he has to bear down You don't see him make too many mistakes. You see him bury the slider down in the zone. We saw it against Munoz.
Season high in pitches, by the way, for Scherzer, 109. This is number 107. And the 1-2 pitch. The Nationals will have a pinch hitter, then the top of their lineup coming up. And Gallegos will come in. He's standing on the mound out there in the Cardinal bullpen. The 2-2 pitch. Goldschmidt sends it down the right field line, but foul. Crowd tonight, biggest of the series, 22,157. 2-2, 157. This will match the season high in pitches for Max Scherzer with this next delivery. Two. Struck him out. Reared back and fired it at 97. 8 strikeouts for Max Scherzer.
Showed him the slider away off the plate. Saw a couple of those. And then 97 up and in. Pretty hard to cover that one. I think he's a little pumped up right now.
And it brings in DeYoung. Cardinals need a 2-out knock. Singled to center and scored back in the first. Struck out and fly to center. And Paul pops it up and slams his bat into shallow center. It goes, and the catch is made. He pitches out of trouble. Time to. Miles Michaelis getting the start tonight for the Cardinals. 6 innings, 7 hits, gave up a run, only walked 1, struck out 4 in his 99 pitches of work. Matched up with Max Scherzer here tonight, our BJC Healthcare difference maker. Well, for those of you that didn't see the ball game last night, had a great shot of Mike Schilt talking with Yadier Molina. Long conversation. And Mike will lean on Yadi at times. And with more on that, let's check in with Erica.
Well, Dan, you and Brad narrated the moment so well, and we talked to Mike Schilt about it before the game. He didn't know the moment was captured, but when he answered about it, he said he equated it to really watching a quarterback and the head coach. It's constant dialogue. He says, you're the general of what's going on, but you've got a guy in Yadi who's caught as many games in the history of baseball. He's won a ton of them. So I just talk through situations like, who do you like for this guy, and what do you see out of this? It's an open dialogue, and he says, I appreciate it and factor it all in.
And Yadi and the team, the players, they appreciate that as well. And that's one of the many reasons why he's so well liked in that dugout, Mike Schilt.
Everybody feels like they have a voice. And once again, so he talks about, Mike Schilt talks about your toolbox a lot of time as a player. What kind of tools does he have? Can he go the other way? Can he drop down a bunt? Does he have speed? Like, what tools are there? Well, he's got a toolbox also, and he's got a toolbox full of assets. Look, Yadi's a tool for you not only behind the plate, but in situations like that, and it's foolish to not use him.
Brian Dozier will pinch hit. So Scherzer out of the ball game, both starters through. Our Chevy called to the pen, Giovanni Gallegos, and he has done nothing to disappoint here pitching for St. Louis. He's been outstanding and getting better. 1 ball and 1 strike. A look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Well, fastball, slider, curveball, great feel for all of them. Sparingly uses the curveball, was spotting up the slider very well last time out. And look, the thing that I like a lot about Gallegos is he's aggressive. He goes right at you.
Here's a 1-1. And a little flare, lifted out to shallow right, and a base hit. Not a bad pitch, but Dozier, that's a Professional hitter right there.
Strong hitter. This is a very good pitch. There, sometimes you just have to look at it and say, all right, tip your cap. Slider, down, away, everything that you'd want out of it. But does just enough here to serve one out there into a perfect spot.
So the base hit by Dozier, and now it's Eaton. It is a all right-handed bench, assuming that Soto is unavailable to hit tonight for the Nationals. So Gallegos could play a big role in this game. Maybe Brebbia, maybe Dominic Leone, and trying to get it potentially to Hicks. We'll see. Tying run at the plate. Eaton 0 for 3. Twice is grounded to Colton Wong. And fouled out. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's filthy. Breaking ball just drops right off the table. Looks like the fastball down in the zone. Big swing right there by Adam Eaton.
Tyler Webb throwing along with John Brebbia. Have to assume that Webb would be for Adams. And the 1-1 pitch. Webb faced Soto with the game on the line yesterday. 2 runners on, made 1 pitch, got a double play.
That's pretty efficient. For all the talk recently, especially coming into the series about the Nationals bullpen, those guys have been getting the job done. Have so far in this series, haven't allowed a run, had 8 scoreless the game before for the pen as well.
There's a swing and a miss. Gallegos gets the strikeout.
Well, we saw a couple of breaking balls in the at-bat, and then 94 just ties up Eaton. It's a good pitch. Once again, just being aggressive. Going at him. Love to see a ground ball.
Robles is 2 for 3 with a couple of singles to left and a run scored tonight. And we've seen he's got a little pop. 5 home runs this year. Again, aggressive with strike 1. 95.
Well, there's not much Robles can do with that pitch. That's 95. It's down and it's on the outer black. If he does offer at that, he's going to hit a weak ground ball somewhere. It's just a perfect pitch.
And the 0-1. Nothing in 2. And the 0-2 pitch taken for a ball outside. Cardinals, if you just joined us, picked up 3 runs in the first inning, and it was a misplay in right, and then with the infield in the first inning,
which tells you, speaks volumes about the offense.
That's
I
right.
guess, for the Washington Nationals.
Cardinals got a ground ball that found its way through, and that led to 2 runs. But always interesting to see the infield in that early in the ball game. Paid off for the Cardinals. And the 1-2. That one scoots away from Molina. Takes the double play out.
Well, this doesn't generally happen to Yachty, but this one spikes and it kicks off. Generally, he's able to smother it. It just doesn't drop right in front of him, able to take second base.
Ruled a wild pitch. 2-2 the count. Dozier at second.
I like the idea also of staying away from Robles. His power is pull. It's to the inner half. If you're going to show him in, you got to show him in off the plate. I think they stay away.
Nats 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position tonight. The 2-2, and he struck him out. Went away, caught the outside portion.
Well, threw him a couple of good fastballs out that way, showed him away, and then the good breaking ball right here. You see this thing just drop. I think that's the curve ball. It's a good pitch. saw the harder slider and then throw that one in.
And now Kendrick, he's 3 for 3 tonight with 3 singles. And the first pitch is strike. Mentioned that Gregerson is coming back at some point here very shortly for the Cardinals.
It's a tough decision.
Well, you've got a 7-man bullpen. I guess you could go to an 8th if you wanted to. 8-man bullpen. Play with 1 fewer on the bench. But right now, the way that some of these guys are throwing, it's, you've got tough decisions.
You really do. And I guess you can never have too many good players. I mean, so these are all good things to have to shake out. But everybody in that bullpen right now, I don't think there's anybody you look at and say, oh, well, that's obvious. I mean, he's the odd man out. Just not the case right now. And as you mentioned, Giovanni Gallegos is carving himself out even a bigger role the way that he's throwing the ball here recently, and hopefully finishing off Kendrick here.
And a fly ball into right, and a scoreless inning put up by Gallegos. Giovanni gets the fly ball in the right. 15-pitch inning, no damage done. Top of the 8th, Joe Ross into the ball game. Max Scherzer tonight. Brad Thompson, what did you see?
Well, I saw kind of what I expected to see. Somebody that was nasty. You see the 3 runs he gave up. We know how that first inning went. A couple of misplays behind him. A nasty slider, great changeup, spotting up his fastball. And once again, Max Scherzer giving his team a chance to win, but finds himself on the wrong end of things currently. And, look, for the Cardinals, hopefully it stays that way.
So Ross into the game to face Marcell Ozuna. First pitch hit out of play, and we're underway in the top of the 8th. It's been interesting how the Cardinals have scored in this series, and he's going to get a new bat. But game 1 was 6 runs in 1 inning, and then you had last night the 3 runs coming in that 1 inning.
Here we are again,
and 3 runs in the first tonight.
Once again, not usually a sustainable model. Now, in the game tonight, not shocking that you get to Scherzer in 1 inning. If you're going to get to him, it's likely not going to be multiple times. But it is about time to get into that bullpen a little bit. While they've been throwing the ball as a group better recently, the struggles that they've had. Time to keep those rolling.
And strike 2 on Marcell Ozuna. See guys, when they have a foul ball like that, foul it back, then they smell the bat, and they literally say they can smell burnt wood.
Yeah, it's a lot of friction.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Some guys lick their bat.
One guy.
Well, Yasiel
There's like
Puig.
a guy that licks his bat.
Yeah. All that pine tar, maybe some of the dirt on it.
That's protein. It's fine.
It's protein.
That's fine. Yeah, building up the immune system too.
You are just always looking for the positives.
Yeah, you
building up the immune system by licking the bat.
Right. I mean, he's not worried about hand sanitizer or any junk like that. He's trying to be able to fight off as many antibodies as he can on his own.
Okay.
Smart, actually.
Yeah. Here's a 2-2. And it's taken low and outside.
You didn't have any routines like that when you played as a kid?
No, I didn't. Well,
I guess aluminum wouldn't taste as good.
Especially when it was lightning out.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
It'd be a little dangerous.
Now, the sheer fact that you're holding a bat is probably going to be an issue there anyways.
And that's taken outside, and Ozuna's on base for the 4th time. 3 base hits and a walk. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com.
That's embarrassing.
What are you talking? That was a giveaway, that shirt.
No, I'm saying it's embarrassing that all 3 of them wore it on the same day. I mean, call each other one time, say, hey, I'm wearing that Cardinal shirt. I know we're going to a Cardinal game.
He's even got the bucket hat, the guy in the middle.
Oh, the shirt itself is nowhere near embarrassing. The shirt is awesome. All three of you wearing the same shirt.
Megan Eberhardt does our promotions.
She does a great job.
Megan, that was Brad saying that these guys, it's embarrassing that they wore it all on the same night. I think it's, you know, some guys just being fanatical. And that's the way you're Mr. Positive, finding antibodies with a guy licking his pad.
Yeah, I'm just saying, haven't you ever gone out with the fellas and you show up and it's like, well, dude, we're wearing the same shirt. Great.
And that's a base hit. Off the bat of Jose Martinez, and Ozuna hustling to third. Martinez to second, and in there. A double for Jose Martinez, and he's on base for the third time. A walk and a couple of hits.
Well, the opposition is continuing to try to figure out ways to get Jose Martinez out. Here's the thought. Oh, let's try way in off the plate. No, that's not going to do it either. He's going to pull the hands in. He's going to crush the ball right down the line. Double for Martinez. Keeps things rolling. And look, it's about getting to the bullpen. It's about scoring again. Continuing to add on. And the Cardinals putting on some pressure. Back to the shirt scenario. This never happened to you? You go out, you're hanging out with your buddies, and you look and you're like, man, you got the same shirt. I had that with a teammate. I get out of the elevator, in walks Chris Duncan, and Duncan and I got the same shirts on, and we look at each other and it's like, all right, am I going to change or are you going to change? Those guys,
well, you guys weren't really fashion aficionados. I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
Well, I was around you.
Very fashion forward. Now, the times have changed quite a bit, and maybe that shirt isn't in play anymore, although it's still in my closet because I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to things.
Gotcha.
I might break it out again. You never know what's going to come back fashion-wise. I'm still waiting for the huge baggy suits to come back because I got a lot of them, and I want them to come back badly so I can wear them. Pants are like those Hammer pants.
MC Hammer pants.
Yeah. I know you rocked those back in the day.
Vanilla Ice. Here's Molina with the infield in. So that one year you actually liked Vanilla Ice. Didn't you cut your eyebrows a little bit? A couple lines in your eyebrows?
I shaved them. I did the same thing on the side too with the lines in it. Those were all great.
You had BT on the side of your head?
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
I tried to make it where you could still see it under the hat when I pitched, but I think I might have got some of the details up a little bit too high. I might bring it back for one of the broadcasts.
Good. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. Molina, base hit into left. One run is in. Martinez held up at third, and Yadi picks up an RBI to make it 4-1, and still nobody out.
Cardinals scored the 3 in the first. You were hoping to get Scherzer out of there, be able to tack onto the bullpen, and they're able to do so here to get it going. Great piece of hitting right here. Get a slider, get it down the middle, and get himself another knock drive and a run. The bullpen has been so good the last couple of games for the Nationals. It was 16 innings without giving up a run. Well, that has broken. And the Cardinals still putting on pressure. First and third, nobody out. It's about that big inning again.
They just called up Dan Jennings, the lefty, and he'll come into the ball game to face Colton Wong with nobody out here in the top of the 8th. This is our Chevy call to the pen. Numbers from a season ago, and still nobody out. Joe Ross did not retire a batter. A walk, double, single, run scored. He's responsible for the 2 runners at the corners, and now it's Colton Wong.
And just when the Nationals might feel like, all right, well, things are going the right way for our bullpen, getting the job done, kind of rears its ugly head again, and the hope is now you keep piling on, you keep getting to him. Colton's been taking way better ABs.
And he drops down a bunt, tried to, and it popped up in the air, and the catch made there by Yan Gomes. So runners at first and third, and nobody out. He's bunting.
Well,
a little greedy from last night.
It worked really well last night in the situation. This one, he's kind of leaving before he's able to get it down. Look, it's the same conversation we had last night. If he gets it down, if it works, it's successful, it's a great idea, it's smart baseball. If he doesn't, it looks bad. In that situation, you'd love to see him swinging it. But if he drops down a perfect bunt and he scores and everything's good, well, then I'm singing a different tune.
So Bader, you love the numbers against lefties and a chance to do some damage here. He doubled back in the 7th. They're at the corners and only one out. Take a look at this ball hit by Bader. StatCast AI powered by AWS. And that was his hardest hit ball of the year. 110.8 off the bat.
Well, he battled to get there, too. Got himself in a position where Scherzer felt like he could get him with the fastball. He left one down the middle, and Harrison can turn around a heater.
So that ball hits the dirt. It's thrown out. Take a guess how many pitches a ball lasts in a game.
Oh, I'm going to guess 6.
You're way off. Average 2.
2.
Yes,
2.
sir.
If I'm going by value at the store, a Major League Baseball on average, I would say, is about $12. A dozen's $144. Are they more than that?
I believe so.
Oh my. So 2.
It's a lot of money.
I'm gonna have to do some math. Yeah, we'll just stick with it's a lot.
Yep. Tyler O'Neill at the on-deck circle. Be the pinch hitter for Gallegos. Webb throwing in the pen. That pitch in the dirt, and Molina stays put at first. They rub up. That's the guys in the clubhouse, about 6 dozen. That Mississippi mud for just about every game.
And then generally you probably have to go back to the well.
The 2-2. There's some talk that there would be a uniform baseball across the league. I thought it was going to be introduced at some point this year, and I've got to do some research on this, but to where you didn't have to rub up the ball, so the home team
like
rubs them up,
Japan.
right? And then you would have no, the other team or whomever is out on the mound saying, "Well, it's too slick, it's rubbed up too much, whatever." Everything's uniform.
I'm telling you, you go place to place, even ball to ball.
Under the glove of Keyboom in an air, and Bader puts it in play, and that'll score Martinez. What could have been maybe a double play. Yeah. Even with Bader running, that ball was scorched off his bat, and Keyboom couldn't come up with it, and the Cardinals add on.
This one is hit very hard, but Keyboom has had himself a tough day. I think that is too if he picks that. Had the one in the first inning that snuck by him. Ended up scoring a couple of runs. The one, fortunately, was called interference for him, where Ozuna, I still don't think did anything wrong, but had to struggle there.
The ruling finally comes down to match what I put on my scorecard, E6.
That's good because you use a Sharpie.
I do. The Cardinals will take it. It's now a 5-1 lead. And here's O'Neill. I wonder how much, if at all, Mike Schilt thought about. Now there's 2 runners on, and O'Neill could make this an 8-1 game with 1 swing. But you got a 4-run lead. Gallegos looked sharp last inning. About pulling back O'Neill, let Gallegos hit.
Yeah, you definitely, I think, run through it. But I do believe in a game like this where you have the opportunity to score some more runs.
Yeah, you go for it.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Sure, yeah, I think the thought process was there, especially the way the Gallegos is throwing the ball. He looked great 2 innings the last time out. Looked very good in his one and only inning of work here tonight.
John Brebbia starts to throw now in the Cardinal bullpen. I wonder if the idea was to maybe have Webb start the inning with the lefty Matt Adams in a tighter game. But now with a 4-run lead, you might just have Brebbia start the inning.
Yeah, I think that you feel good about him against lefty and righty. Certainly when it's tighter, you like to utilize some matchups if you have the ability to do so. But a lot of good weapons down there. A lot of different ways to deploy them.
2-2 the count. O'Neill had the comebacker absolute rocket that was hit last night. Off the glove of the pitcher as he faced a lefty. And he works the count full, now 3-2. O'Neill is about due for one of those majestic home runs.
He is for sure. He could do some big time damage right here. He's one of those guys where he's fun to watch during BP.
And the 3-2 pitch now to Tyler O'Neill, and he strikes out. It's been 7 games which the Cardinals have not hit a home run this year. They've won 5 of them. So there's other ways that this lineup has shown that they can win. And at one point, you go back to last year, a couple years ago, they were dependent on the home run.
Oh, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I mean, they almost couldn't win if in fact that didn't happen. And we have seen Mike Schiltz's club manufacture runs. Sure, they'll take their home runs and they're fun to watch. But oftentimes it's getting the guy over, it's stealing a bag, it's having good jumps, going first to third, and getting those clutch hits.
Carpenter broke in 0 for 14 back in the 7th inning. And ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes. Lefty just got up for the Nationals, and Carpenter reaches. You would think that Goldschmidt faces a left-handed bat, or left-handed pitcher, excuse me. Two and one. Carry 4 lefties in their pen. Sean Doolittle, Matt Grace, and that's the lefty that's up throwing now. Dan Jennings into the game, and then Tony Sipp, who we saw last night. 2 balls and a strike. 3-1.
I guess the plan is, I mean, it's always when you're constructing a bullpen, you like to have balance, but you also want to take your best pitchers with you, whoever that ends up being out of spring training. And it was a little different. Now, Dan Jennings just recalled when Rendon went on the IL, but it is what it is. And look, next year is going to be different too. You're going to have lefties, righties, get both of them out.
Runners off with the pitch. Full count on Carpenter. Outfield straight away, and Carpenter strikes out. Sends us to the bottom of the 8th. Martin Luther King Memorial here in Washington. Numbers that they have put up, both with ERAs under 1.
They've been great, and they've been called upon at some huge spots. And Brebbia has shown this over the last year plus, that you can trust him. You trust him in those spots. I love the evolution of John Gant. It was a lot of games that he started last year, and he's found himself a great role at the back end of this bullpen.
Well, we had a nice visit with John down in the dugout before the game today, and I wanted some clarity on the beard.
Yeah.
And he said that the beard is coming in nicely. The last time he shaved was opening day in Milwaukee before the game, and he said, you know, guys, you probably don't realize this, but I'm getting, you know, some areas of the face are filling in because I get a little curly on the beard, so it's not as full as I'd like it, but yet I'm progressing nicely.
Well, you mentioned how well, you know, the coverage was good, and he said the key to it this year has just been how the way his beard lays.
Right.
You know, it's really covering well, so good for him. Since the beginning of the season, that's what he's got rolling. I'm 37 years. I got nothing.
It's okay.
It'll happen. Right?
Everybody goes through the changes of life, and at some point,
probably at 40. That's what they say. That's
Yeah.
when you grow a beard, is at 40. I'll get there.
John also, I tried to get some clarity on how many years he spent getting to the big leagues. And I can't tell you how many scouts have said, where did the Cardinals find this guy? And it just popped up. Matt Adams, and DeYoung makes the catch. And it's a credit to John Mozeliak and his staff to find this kind of weapon out of the pen in John Brebbia. And John was telling us that he was drafted, spent a couple years in the minor leagues, and then he went to independent baseball. So he actually was trying to add it up for us, but 2 years he spent in independent baseball to figure out his velocity and fastball. And he said, look, if I'm going out, I might as well just throw it as hard as I possibly can. And he got on the mound and started throwing as hard as he can. Just here it is. And the velocity, he said, hit 92. And then it got up to 94. And he said he didn't even realize that he was starting to hit 96. And that's when everybody started to notice. He's got a good slider, good fastball. And here he is in the big leagues getting outs. 2 away here in the 8th.
Tell you what, the goal for most guys, I mean, you want to be in affiliated ball. You want to be with an organization and with the hope of climbing the ladder and being here where John Brebbia is. But sometimes if you've still got the will and the want, there are places for you to play. There are great independent leagues out there that will provide the opportunities. And, well, John Brebbia took advantage of one, and here he is.
Here's Carter Kieboom. I also got a kick out of it. I said, you know, John, I thought the other night when he walked 3, most he's walked in a game. I said, was the strike zone kind of shrinking on you a little bit, or what do you think? No, Dan, he said, I was pretty much not near the strike zone. At least he was honest.
Yeah, a lot of times you say, well, I don't know, maybe. No, he's like, no.
Nah, I just didn't have it. That one caught the home plate umpire. You've got the collarbone area. There are some areas there that are still unprotected. Yep. Ouch.
It's a tough job back there. It's a thankless job back there as well. You get beat up.
Here's a 1-2. Fastball blew it right by him at 96. Ninth. A couple of teams that John Brebbia pitched for. American Association, he was in Sioux Falls.
The Canaries.
That's right. And he also pitched for Laredo. And now in the big leagues with the Cardinals. Great story.
It is. Everybody's path is different, and everybody has different breaks at different times. And look, there are a lot of guys out there that their story ends with the first time that they were released in minor league ball, whether they didn't want to go play anywhere else or didn't feel like independent ball was going to be the route. It's fun. I mean, it's fun to see how everybody's path to the big leagues works out.
It really is. Here's Grace, Matt Grace, to face Goldschmidt, and a strike. It's 5-1 Cardinals here in the top of the 9th. Cardinals trying to make it 20 wins in the first 30 games. And that's hit out of play.
It's amazing what has changed within this team. And I know that, look, it's easy to watch a couple of games and then start freaking out. I guess that's fandom. But there was panic after the first couple of games against the Brewers. They take 3 of 4, and it's oh my gosh, the sky is falling. Things are going all right.
We're asked every year, what do you think, is going to happen with this team? And there was a different vibe and feeling to the St. Louis Cardinals in spring training. We'll see how it plays out as Goldschmidt lines it for a base hit into right center, and that's a line drive that almost could have resulted in a double off the bat. Ball was smoked.
It was. I think that Goldschmidt happy Scherzer's not in there anymore. Take advantage of the bullpen. You see this one here trying to go up and in, ends up, well, middle down. That's when he's at his best, when he's driving the ball that way, hitting it hard. No chance there at second.
The reason I felt that way, and just having been around the club for, well, now for me 22 years and going down to spring trainings, but here's DeYoung. The one thing I saw that caught my eye, and I do think it's a good collection of players and pitchers, if everything can fall into play. I mean, there's always ifs with every team.
Of course.
Yadier Molina was hopping around like he was 20 years old again as DeYoung hits into a double play, 4-6-3. And I'm not saying he's always doing that, and I'm not saying that he's not always excitable and into it. But I watched Yadi specifically, and he was jumping all over the place, and he looked like he was 20 years old again. And I thought, and he knows it better than anybody else, he's got a feeling maybe about this team.
Yep.
And, we'll see how it plays out. But that was, to me, one of the indications, just seeing that youthful exuberance that we've seen out of him. Looked like he had it as Ozuna hits one a mile high into shallow left, and the catch is made. You agree?
Oh, absolutely agree. Something special is going on.
This pitch is 97 or above. National League bullpens, and it's the Pirates, the Marlins, and then your St. Louis Cardinals. That's a look at your Kubota power stats.
There's the main culprit right there. It's impressive. High octane out of the bullpens. Saw that last strikeout from Brebbia. It was 96. We've seen John Gant 97.
And the first pitch, a broken bat, and handled easily by Wong. Don't step on the bat. He almost stepped on it. Don't want to see him roll his ankle. And that, folks, is a shattered bat.
Strikeouts are good feelings when you punch somebody out.
You like this,
though,
to me,
is my favorite thing. Because the hope is, the backstory I build is, that was his favorite bat. It was his lucky bat. He needed that thing. That was his Wonder Boy. It just shattered it. Firewood, Souvenir City.
Pick me out a winner, Bobby.
Yeah, that's right.
And that pitch is popped up. 2 pitches and 2 outs. Ooh, almost came out of the glove of Carpenter. But he made the catch, so no damage done. And a look at our Budweiser player of the game, Marcell Ozuna. 3 for 3, 2 doubles, a single, 2 runs. Drives in a run. And the Cardinals are 1 out away from taking the first 3 in this series and beating Max Scherzer.
Talk about another guy who's having some fun this year. Seen a lot of smiles on Marcell Ozuna.
Yes.
Always having a good time this year. There's a good vibe. Now, I feel like when we talk about that, some people might think, well, it's loose. But I don't think that's the case. It's businesslike when you're around the club, but there's just that vibe to it. It's kind of hard to put a finger on, but these guys are excited to be here. They're excited to work, and look, they want to win every single day. It's about day in, day out. What do we have to do to win this ball game? The attention to detail has certainly been there for Mike Shilt's club.
Adrian Sanchez, the pinch hitter. It's a club that could smile a bit off to this very good start 2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinals have out hit the Nationals 11-8 and lead it 5-1. Little flare and a base hit into right center. So Sanchez extends the ball game against Brevia. Top of the lineup in Adam Eaton. That was also a broken bat.
It's 3 in a row. We had the shattered one. Taylor broke his off the end, and that one broke as well. A lot of firewood tonight.
And the first pitch to Eaton taken high. Jordan Hicks just getting a little loose just in case. That's outside. 2-0. On the air tomorrow. Reminder at 2:30 on Fox Sports Midwest.
We were showing the stat off the top of the pitches, 97 and above. Got another fun number for you. The Cardinals have thrown 106 fastballs over 100 miles an hour. That would be Jordan Hicks. I'm pretty sure.
He helps.
I'm pretty sure those are all his.
Ryan Elsley had a few that hit triple digits.
We're going to see him some more this year too, I think, at some point.
You bet. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Adam Eaton, and it's in the air. This should do it. Colton Wong under it. And folks, the Cardinals are the 10th team in the long history of St. Louis Cardinals baseball to start with 20 wins in their first 30 games. And they're having some fun. 5-1 the final tonight.
This team is clicking right now. They get to Scherzer early. They get to the pen late. Great pitching by Miles Michaelis and the bullpen. And the Cardinals take all 3 of the first games here.
Look for a sweep tomorrow. We'll come your way at 2:30. Post-game show comes your way next.